Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Rain Whalen.
And I'm him. Anyway, uh,
Okay, which him though? The
Powerpuff
Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah, Powerpuff.
Okay, good. Good. Cool.
Yeah.
Dude,
I think a few seasons ago I did Mojo Jojo, so I'll just make my way through.
I think you did.
I did.
Yeah. And now you have to now all that's left is Ace.
I'm hoping you put up a picture of him when I said that's what I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, now that I know,
Yeah.
Dude, their Spirit Jersey, that company that Ashley and I have a lot of shirts from.
Yeah.
They did like a Powerpuff Girls line, and they did one that said it said Powerpuff Girls right here, I think, and then on the back it just said him.
Nice.
And it had him on it. Honestly kind of fantastic villain.
Yeah, remember when Cartoon Network used to put just the devil in their cartoons? Like this, and then Cow and Chicken had
the red guy,
the
red guy, yeah.
The red guy.
The red guy who bounced on his ass. Or no, he walked on his ass.
Just casually just dropping the devil in in our cartoons, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so for those of you who obviously are not in the know, Jeremy and I have sort of been on this early 2000s Cartoon Network / Adult Swim kick.
Yeah.
It kind of started... Did it start with you telling me that you were watching... What were you watching? You were watching something, and that's what kind of kicked this off.
Let's see, what was I watching? Because every once in a while I would, while I'm doing something, I'll put on home movies sometimes, because it's just a lot of talking, which is great. And then you were trying to locate C-Lab, right, on DVD?
Yeah,
And then that inspired me to get C-Lab, and then I started just watching it, just on, Max or whatever. And I've been loving that. I've also been trying Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Which it's taken me a minute, right? Like, I'm not super into it yet, but I want to like it. So I'm
Dude, yeah. Yeah, if I haven't said it on the show enough, I love Aqua Teen. I think honestly that might be my next tattoo, because my artist Aaron did I don't know why he did this, but he did a whole Garfield flash sheet.
Amazing.
Where he made other cartoon characters look a little bit like Garfield, and one of them is Meatwad. And I'm gonna have to tell him, dude, you got to put the Meatwad Garfield on me.
It's silly.
But yeah, because off mic we were talking about Metalocalypse, which is kind of mid. Well, I wouldn't say mid 2000s, but I think the season 1 debuted in 2006. I think. Kind of on the. I would say Metalocalypse is what premiered and what kind of sent Adult Swim on the trajectory that it's on now. But man, there's just something about those original shows that Adult Swim first came out with. Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Harvey Birdman is my favorite. So far. Well, except for Venture Bros, of course.
Oh, dude. And I could talk ad nauseum about the Venture Brothers and how much I fucking love that show. Speaking of Harvey Birdman, one of my favorite episodes is when the Jetsons show up.
Yeah.
And they have to walk to his desk, and it takes them days to get there. And he's gone home, come back, and they're still walking. And then George is talking down to him because he doesn't think he gets it.
Right.
It's so good, dude.
Episode, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, there's just something about that, man. This it's it's like a Cartoon Network was like, well, you know, these are cartoons for adults, but like, where's the line? And then honestly, the show I hate the most, which I just told you, I think Super Jail is what broke the line. And they're like, oh, we can get away with a whole lot. And that's how we got fucking Rick and Morty and fucking which I'm not complaining about, by the way.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, so the point of that is I have all 4 seasons of C Lab 2021 now.
Amazing.
You're getting there. You need 2 more.
Yeah.
One day. I mean,
One
you
day.
found that one for me, which was dirt cheap. I told Ashley about it, and she immediately was like, yeah, "Then get it. Like, you
Yeah.
need it. It's only $15. Get it." It's like,
Done.
okay. I mean, you said so.
Click.
Now I'm just gonna get that Aqua Teen set. That one I want the most, and then it'll probably be the Venture Brothers set, and then the Metalocalypse set.
Of course.
But with that being said, welcome back to the show, everyone. So buddy, I've been also trying to convince Ashley that we need to go see The Bad Guys 2.
Okay.
And she was like, I haven't even seen one. I'm like, I have, and we should watch it together because it's great. Have you seen it, buddy?
No.
It's great. It truly, this sort of resurgence that DreamWorks is in right now is really good. And like, I'm really impressed because I think we can all agree DreamWorks peaked with Shrek 2. I know it's controversial.
I disagree. Because, and I don't know why, like, you're still giving it such disrespect. B movie came out after Shrek 2. I don't know why you're so disrespectful to B movie, and I don't understand. I love B movie, so
Put it at the top of the show. We're talking about B movie next week.
Okay, great.
I mean, we've done a whole episode on a Goofy movie. But yeah, man, this new wave of animated films that DreamWorks is doing is really great, and The Bad Guys was fantastic.
Well, I know Sam Rockwell's in it. Yeah, I love Sam Rockwell. So,
dude, he did such a great job. Sam Rockwell, Zazie Beetz, Mark Maron, who I love.
That's so crazy. Mark Maron's in that.
Yeah, Craig Robinson, Anthony Ramos, who I know you hate.
I don't like Anthony Ramos. You're correct, and it's nothing to do with his acting. It's all me. I'm just being a bully. I just don't like him.
And then the thing that makes me laugh the most is Richard Ottawade as a hamster. No, he's a guinea pig in it, and I really loved it. And so when I heard they were making a sequel, I was like, we have to see it. And apparently it's doing really well. And so I'm trying to convince Ashley, and she was like, but why though? Like, cause I don't know, cause fun.
Yeah, cause fun.
I don't know, cause fun. Because Sam Rockwell is fucking hilarious as a animated wolf.
The only way I would be on her side is if, because obviously I'm pro fun. I don't want that to be just on the record,
right?
But Weapons comes out on Friday, so
shit.
So I mean, we're gonna be out of town, so I'm not gonna be able to see Weapons opening weekend. But I want to so bad. I want to see it so bad.
Ashley didn't know that that's what the movie was called. I was like, oh yeah, we gotta go see Weapons because she really wants to see it.
That's awesome.
Like when we saw Fantastic Four, they showed a trailer for Weapons, and she leaned over to me and she was like, "Yeah, we gotta see that."
Yeah, I can't wait.
I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And then I was telling her, I was like, yeah, we need to go see Weapons. And she was like, Weapons? I was like, the movie with Julie Gardner about all the kids missing. She was like, I did not know that's what that was called. I was like, yes, Zach Krager. And this is the last thing I'll say, then we'll move on to the episode because I don't want to have another long intro like last week. But there's something about when comedians get involved in horror I don't know what it is, but Jordan Peele's been knocking it out of the park. Zach Krager now. Especially considering from what I've heard about Weapons is unlike Barbarian, it's a straight horror. There's no comedic moments. It's a straight horror film. As where Barbarian, I did hear there are moments where it teeters
Well,
a little bit funny.
mostly it's just because it's aware of audience expectation.
Mm,
And so when it subverts it, it's sort of like, it's not literally breaking the fourth wall, but you're sort of like, what is going on?
yeah,
um,
yeah.
Barbarian's awesome.
Yeah, I need to see Barbarian, but I really want to see Weapons. The first trailer I saw for it, I was kind of like, but the more I've seen, the more I'm like, all right, yeah, we need to see this.
Absolutely.
But that'll have to wait. Because Jeremy, would you like me to remind everyone what we're talking about today?
Go ahead.
Today was my pick. We are talking about the 1981 fantasy adventure dream film from Terry Gilliam, Time Bandits. This is the fifth film we've done of his now, because we did Fear and Loathing, we've done the Zero Theorem, 12 Monkeys, and Brazil.
Yeah.
So this is the fifth film of his we've done. We haven't done Jabberwocky yet, which I think you'd hate. Probably just as much as you, I'm assuming, hated this one. So let's get that out of the way now. Did you hate the movie?
Yeah, kind of. It's not for me. I went in, I was like, you know what? Let me get a couple beers, you know what I'm saying? And like, let's go. Let's get this done. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? Maybe it is good. Maybe this is great. Maybe I'm going to have a bunch of fun, No. I didn't have any fun. Not only was it sort of a mess for me, just in terms of like, what are these guys even doing? Right?
Yeah.
And like this evil guy, the supreme being, it's just a mess. Okay. But honestly, man, it was boring. I was bored. Every new time, every new era they went in, I'm just like, could they have picked a more boring place to be? I was excited to see Ian Holm. I was excited. John Cleese made me laugh. I did like John Cleese. I liked his Robin Hood. It was funny. His hat was ridiculous. Like, that was funny. I enjoyed that.
And he pulled, or I would say Leonardo DiCaprio took from his acting book of repeating the same phrase over and over again. Yeah, jolly good. Yeah.
And other than that, yeah, I was just so bored. I could not care any less about what was going on, and it just wasn't for me. And that's okay,
So for me personally, being a first watch for me as well, and I'm very forgiving of Terry Gilliam because, I mean, without him, we wouldn't have gotten the Holy Grail.
Right, of course.
There were elements I liked. I'm not going to sit here and say I disliked the movie at all. I did enjoy it, but you're right. There were moments that were kind of boring, and I'm like, it was. And it's that thing. I don't think I talked about it when we did Brazil, which is Terry Gilliam tends to sometimes do scenes of nothing burgers.
Okay.
Where we're spending way too long on something that we kind of, the audience, we know what's happening. So why are we wasting so much time?
Sure.
We'll get to it, but a perfect example of when they're swinging from cage to cage towards the end of the movie.
Oh, I fast forwarded through that. I was so over it by then. I can't. I'm so close to being done, I just
Um,
let's go, you know?
so a little inside baseball, everyone. I told Jeremy when we started that I finished the movie today. I kind of slacked off yesterday. I'm sure I've mentioned it on the show, but I've been playing a game called Baldur's Gate, and on this point, I'm replaying it. New character, making new decisions, and I was just too enthralled last night. I couldn't stop,
Sure.
so I watched it today, and I finished it while Ashley and I were having dinner. She watched a bit of it with me, and I think she got bored too. Like she was watching, and she was like, "This is interesting." And then eventually she was like, "Well, I'm gonna go work on school stuff." I was like, "Oh, you don't want to watch this with me?" And she was like, "Yeah, I don't really care. It's not my vibe." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. That's fair." Um, but but that being said, everyone, so let me quickly get through the synopsis, and then we can move on to, I guess, trying to break down this movie. So, Time Bandits takes place in somewhere in England. We follow a young boy named Kevin who is just fascinated with history, um, specifically that of ancient Greece, specifically of King Agamemnon. Um, and this is history is sort of his escape because his parents are so obsessed with the latest and greatest technology, which is eerily uh, mirrored of our modern day. And this was 1981.
Yeah.
But his parents are so obsessed with the next big thing. We got to have that. And Kevin gets a weird premonition dream thing of a armored knight coming out of his closet on a horse and riding off in a forest in his bedroom. So he decides that he's going to try to, as most kids would, capture whatever's coming out of his closet. Enter the titular Time Bandits, Randall and his misfit crew of smaller people. And they kind of sort of kidnap Kevin. And I mean, he goes with them willingly, but I mean, uh, and they kind of just take him on an adventure through time and space. Because Randall and the crew are really kind of fed up with working for the Supreme Being and not getting the credit that they deserve for helping him create the universe in 7 days. So they have a map of time doors to help them kind of jump through and give the Supreme Being the slip. And while they're at it, you know, why don't we just rob people? So they first end up in France, and rob Napoleon, played wonderfully by Ian Holm.
It is a
I
highlight for sure.
Yeah. And then they end up in the Middle Ages where they meet Robin Hood, as you said, played by John Cleese. Where I just love that he gives away everything they just stole from Napoleon, including the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
And then Kevin gets separated and finally gets to meet King Agamemnon, by fucking Sean Connery. Did you notice they didn't cover his tattoo on his arm, by the way?
I didn't notice. Yeah.
Anyway, well, Randall and the gang show up, rob King Agamemnon, kidnap Kevin again, and ultimately finally come face to face with someone who's been pulling all the strings, known as, from everything I read, he's just called Evil, but there's like Evil 1, Great Evil.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Evil. He's also the bad guy in Tron, so he just is just known for playing bad guys, with red things on their head.
Yeah.
Well, Evil thinks that he can do a better job than the Supreme Being, ultimately culminating in the only real good use of the time travel aspect of this movie, where the crew gets people from different timelines to try to defeat the evil, ultimately the supreme being, coming in and saving the day. And pretty much this was a test to see how evil would work. And Kevin wakes up back at home where it was a dream, or was it? Because he has the Polaroids, and that's time edits.
Yeah.
I yada yada'd over a lot because I know you don't care.
Well, it's not that I don't care. I mean, I don't, but it's we yada yada through it because that's yep. I mean, you know what I mean? To talk about the other stuff is just to waste time, you know?
Yeah.
Um
Okay, well here, let's do this. Let's start with positives. Okay.
okay.
Positive for me, and I always love talking about it. And if I haven't mentioned it in our Fear and Loathing episode or our dystopic trilogies episode, which, by the way, apparently we could have done Brazil with this movie and fucking Baron Munchausen, and that could have been an end of season series because apparently this movie's a part of what he calls his imaginative trilogy.
Huh.
Anyway, I really like Terry's visual language. Like
Sure.
I think having been a production designer, he really knows what he wants his shot to look like. And I this period in his filmography in the 80s, so this film, Brazil, um Jabberwocky, I think. No, Jabberwocky was like late 70s. Um they just have a very unique style in terms of like the visual language of the film and what we're seeing on screen. Um and I've always liked that about Terry. Even his newer films like Zero Theorem and um he did the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, right?
Mm-hmm. You did.
Yeah. His newer films still have a very good visual language. But there is something about his 80s films that I really dig and I really like.
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree. The set design, the way, you know, the world building and all of that, it's good, you know? Um it's it's good. I liked the way a lot of it looked. Uh so I agree. I agree with that.
Can I tell you one of my favorite shots was when they shatter the invisible barrier
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
to and I love that it wasn't just like a matte painting of the glass shattered and then the castle. We actually get to see sort of like from behind the barrier
Yeah.
looking down at everyone. And it's an actual thing that they designed. Like I just there's something again, there's just something about Terry's visual style that I vibe with so much.
Yeah.
And I think it's because his style reflects kind of who he is as a person, which is an absolute madman, who more often than not is given essentially free reign to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, how else how else could he have made Fear and Loathing and everyone not had an awful time on that set?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think his visual style is very unique and it's very it's distinct. It's very much his style, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with all of that. Um I think where this film loses me is mostly just in the story itself. I mean, it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
it's hanging on by a thread to me. Okay?
Mm.
Um like if this were an episode of television and it was an hour long, okay, you know, that'd be
Okay.
okay. That'd be fine. You know, let's cut some of these scenes down. Let's not linger so long in these places that we don't need to be. Um, because they stay in places for so long and they're just not doing anything.
Yeah.
I think the ones that made me the most bored was like Napoleon lasted a little bit too long. I thought, holy God, the troll guy on the boat. Oh man. Oh, that was hard to get through. And I mean, okay. One of the most fantastic shots in the movie ended up being sort of the aftermath of that scene, which is, you know, the guy coming out of the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their boat is the Hat. I thought that was kind of cool. That also lasted way too long.
That's where Ashley kind of lost interest, because she was like, "Am I like? Did I like take acid and I wasn't looking? Like, what is happening?" And I just had to kind of be like, I mean, this is from the guy who did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and she was like, "Well, that makes sense, you know." Uh, but yeah, yeah. So okay, so we did a positive of his visual language. The negative is, yeah, there is, we linger way too long. And again, that's what I was saying with Terry and a lot of these scenes being nothing burgers, which is we linger way too long. We, the audience, understand what's happening. Um, yeah, because like, did we really need to see Ian Holm drunkenly comparing himself to other great leaders in their heights? Like, no, like we just needed to see them, you know, essentially, what is it? What's the word, man? I know it's right there. It's right there. Hang on. Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up.
I understand.
Enable. There we go. You know, we know the crew is indirectly enabling him to get him drunk, but like, did we need like all of that? I will give you credit there. Like there's so much that Terry just lingers on, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Let's move on now. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I mean, just I don't know, like the motivations of characters is sort of not there for me. Um, I wasn't rooting for anybody. I wasn't rooting for them to like steal things for what, you know?
To prove to the supreme being that you're more than just
Yeah, but that's not really a goal, you know?
yeah.
Like there's no ticking clock. There's not that you need a ticking clock, or not that you even need, you know, reasons for doing that. It's just for this I think you do, you know, for an action adventure, you know, epic like this was attempting to be. I think you need very distinct motivation. And like the evil genius guy, I just I mean, what's going on? You know? And then the explanation is also nothing, you know? Um and the so I get it though, because it's, you know, I guess it's sort of a play on, you know, the devil thinks that he can do, you know, um he can be a better savior or lord or god than God, right?
Uh-huh.
And then of course God casts him down to hell, blah, 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 all that, right?
Right.
Which is what this is essentially, and like the supreme being is God, you know, because he created everything.
Yeah.
He ended up dressing like the guy from the Matrix too, a little bit.
Would you say the Wachowskis pulled that for the architect?
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Um,
when the
especially
Wachowskis still had the sauce.
well. But yeah, I mean, there's just I don't know, you know, um,
No,
I and like the map, it's sort of a MacGuffin, it's sort of like this thing that doesn't really matter, and it's helping them like get find their way through something because they are, I guess, trying to end up in that space where they end up at the end, where um some of the architecture looks like Legos,
yeah,
but
it's almost like it's, you know what it's like, that big space that they're trying to get to. It's almost like a vacuum where everything is getting kind of pulled in there.
I guess it also made me feel like maybe this is all indication that it is a dream, right? And this kid is just but then but then that doesn't make sense, right? Because he undercuts that with the Polaroids and with Sean Connery, which is I thought just so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because if he's King Agamemnon, what is he doing in present day being a firefighter? I don't understand. Right?
Yeah.
It's really just a to me, a cheap way to be like, oh, was it a dream? Even though we already have
The Polaroids.
Yeah.
And the fact that and then hang on. And then since we're gonna bring that up, let's bring up the ending. That the fact that the piece of evil somehow survived and made it back with Kevin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And his parents touch it and they just fucking die.
Oh, that's right.
I did laugh at that. I'm like, wait, is that how we're ending this fucking movie?
The story
they just
ends,
die.
They explode, or vaporized or whatever. They're gone. I guess we don't care because they were sort of
Kind of neglectful.
Yeah, I guess. Kevin doesn't seem to care. That's for sure. What a stupid movie. Sorry, I have a cold. As we're talking through it, I may have liked it a lot less than I originally.
Well, and then let's not forget, there's also Michael Palin and Shelley Duvall's characters who keep just popping up,
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was going to be revealed that they're Adam and Eve.
That's interesting.
But we never get that reveal.
You know why? Because that's interesting. And this movie is not interested in that. Being interesting. In fact, when all these people got top sorry. When all these people got top billing in the opening credits, I was like, okay, so Shelley Duvall's here in our second, time hop. So she's probably going to follow them along, right? It's Shelley Duvall. She literally just did The Shining,
Yeah.
Nope. That doesn't happen, which is fine. I find Shelley Duvall not very compelling, but no offense.
You say, yeah, I was gonna say because she's dead now. Yeah. Look. Again, as I said at the top of the show, I'm very forgiving,
right,
of Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
Because the first film I ever saw of his was The Holy Grail, and then it was Fear and Loathing, which is a crazy jump.
It is pretty crazy, yeah.
But there, I'm going to say something that's going to make it sound like I didn't enjoy the movie, because I did enjoy it. There were elements about it I really did enjoy. It was almost as self-indulgent as The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which you haven't seen yet, have you?
No. I've seen the original, which I very much enjoyed.
I do not know if you would like Terry's version.
Oh, I guarantee you I wouldn't.
It is very self-indulgent. Because again, it's almost like he went to the studio and said, "This is what I want to do. I'm doing it." And they're like, "Yeah, okay." Like it
Yeah.
did not seem like he had any oversight whatsoever. And it's because, you know what, now that I'm thinking about this, I think it's because he also makes these other films that are really, really fucking good. Like Fear and Loathing. Because I think he did The Fisher King before he did Baron Munchausen. That seems right.
Which I
Don't
do not like.
quote
Also,
me.
by the way.
You don't like The Fisher King?
Not really.
Okay, he did The Fisher King after Baron Munchausen. Never mind. I take back that statement.
Well, because I'm not going to say that I don't like Terry Gilliam, because I do. There are movies that he does that are just fantastic. Brazil is a masterpiece. And Fear and Loathing, of course, is iconic, and it's amazing to watch. It's perfect. His style is perfect for Hunter S. Thompson. Okay.
Yeah.
But then, you get stuff like this, but see, I also like 12 Monkeys. You know what I mean? Like now let me ask you this.
Okay.
Is Time Bandits a kids movie? Is this marketed
I don't think so.
for kids?
I don't think it is. Granted, again, I know the 80s were a different time for kids, They had New Coke, they had Tab.
Yeah, that's the
they had fucking parachute pants. But this really felt like an extension of a little bit like of Brazil, this very, very strange world, like mirror world of our own.
But see, that's where I think this film is just so much different than those two, because Brazil has a point.
Yeah.
12 Monkeys has a point. In fact, 12 Monkeys uses this time travel so much better than Time Bandits, because they're oh my god, it's just so it's like I had the worst time watching this movie because I'm just waiting for it to get interesting, and it never does.
Well, and
it's frustrating.
The movie also, I think I know why. It's because the movie plays with a lot of really cool, interesting concepts, like time hopping to rob people.
Sure.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, you may stop me here, and you may disagree with me.
Okay. That's fine.
I think it's because you and I are looking at this from a modern lens. It does feel very, what's the word? Exploitive of little people.
Maybe a little, but I don't know. See, you're right. I do disagree because there are movies of this time that do take big swings, like Time Bandits, that are just so much more interesting. Because, and again, even if this were geared towards children, like even if this were a kids movie or a family movie or something, right? Nostalgia aside, this movie just wastes so much time. Where you watch like The Goonies, for instance, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't waste any time. That's not good because it's nostalgic. It's good because it's good. you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like a
Here,
better example to compare, because obviously the Goonies isn't it is fantastical in a sense, but it's not like any way supernatural or science fiction. Um
I just Googled movies that came out in 1981 to see like maybe if we could find a good kind of comparison. Heavy Metal came out in 1981.
well, that's a little different. Heavy metal is,
Uh,
based on the magazine, but
An American Werewolf in London
okay.
came out in 1981. Friday the 13th Part 2
Mm.
came out in 1981.
See, these are also bad comparisons because a lot of these aren't in the same vein, like
Here you go, buddy. History of the World Part 1.
okay. Yeah. I mean, that obviously has more of an adult centric um sense of humor and, sense of self. It is for adults. But like this,
Oh, here, hang on. I found a family friendly. The Fox and the Hound. Uh,
I guess it is
uh,
family friendly.
Holy Jesus, that was it. The Incredible Shrinking Woman.
I think,
Um,
well, and it might not be of the time. That might not be the problem because Terry Gilliam has this problem elsewhere, right?
yeah,
Terry Gilliam has this problem, I assume, in Baron Munchausen. I assume that movie's way too long. Um,
yeah.
which it doesn't need to be, I assume. Zero Theorem is too long. Um, I remember being very underwhelmed with Zero Theorem. Um, I think just sometimes he likes being in the world, which in some cases is completely fine. Zero Theorem, it's a little bit more forgivable because it is such a fantastic dystopian futuristic society, and it's interesting to be a part of it. Is the story very interesting? That's debatable, but the world is interesting. These set pieces are very cool and very interesting to look at in Time Bandits, um but not to linger um without specific purpose. We're lingering for no reason. Um because they're not after any specific thing. They're not jumping in these times seemingly on purpose, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they end up somewhere and they're sort of like looking around, okay, we're here in this place. And it's like, but then what's the map for? if you're not,
Yeah.
if you don't know exactly where you're going.
Yeah. Ashley kind of brought up that same point, like when, Kevin's taking Polaroids in ancient Greece. Ashley's like, is no one going to say something about his magic box and stealing their souls? Like, are we not going to talk about this? And I'm like, apparently not, dude. They just
No.
accept the fact that this kid fucking came out of nowhere, and now Sean Connery's like, this is my heir.
Yeah.
Like, they just accept it.
I have a theory about his tattoo, now that you mention it. I have a theory that he was in hair and makeup. They're like, Mr. Connery, we need to cover your tattoo. He goes, absolutely not. I'm not wasting my time on that. You have me for 2 days, you know?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that that he was just like, this movie's not worth the effort of that,
Yeah.
you know?
It's funny you bring that up. Harrison Ford was just asked about working with him on Last Crusade. And apparently he did kind of have to put, Harrison did kind of have to put Sean a little bit in his place, a little bit. Because apparently he was very excited to work with Sean
Of
Connery. He
course,
was,
Sean Connery.
but if I remember correctly, he said it's when they were filming a lot on the motorcycle. like Sean, if I understood Harrison correctly, because this is where I kind of wasn't paying attention for just a brief second. I think Sean was trying to say like that he could do it better, and Harrison was like, no, like, and kind of had to put him in his place a little bit. But that would not shock me if Sean Connery was like, "You're not covering my tattoo. I don't care if it's in the shot."
Like
And Terry was just
Not
probably was just like, "Okay, like, that's fine. That's fine. No
Yeah,
one will notice anyway."
that's my theory, but I am shocked he's in the ending.
I
Only because
think
it's just like I just, knowing what I know about Sean Connery, as little as it is, I know that, he's not the type to be like, yeah, I'll come back, you know?
So what you're saying is he was like, "I'm gonna film my scene at the end, and I'm gonna film in
Yeah,
Agent
yeah,
Grease, and then
yeah.
we're done. Then we're done."
Like it's weird he came back for the end, but anyway, it doesn't matter. And they probably didn't shoot it chronologically, of course, but
Yeah, that's rare.
it's rare, but I don't know. It just seemed like extra time he would have had to be there or come back for,
You know, but yeah, no. So you're right. Again, like, what's the point of the map if they're like, okay, so especially considering that Randall, keeps claiming that he knows exactly where they are, and they don't. And see, that's another thing that would have made a very interesting concept is that Kevin knows a lot about history and he knows where they are before Randall even figures it out. And that doesn't fucking do anything with the plot. Like,
Yeah.
I thought, like, oh, okay, like Kevin's gonna kind of become the de facto leader, and Randall's not gonna like that.
Right.
No.
No.
Also, sidebar. I meant to say this at the top of the show when I was doing the synopsis. Fucking Kenny Baker, R2D2 himself, like,
Yeah.
I knew instantly. I was like, holy shit, that's Kenny Baker. But anyway, like, it just, I don't know. Like, I don't want our listeners, Zach, to think like he already knows you didn't like this movie,
Yeah,
but
he
I
knows.
don't want him to know that I did like parts of this movie. It is just okay. Let me tell you another positive.
Okay.
I was laughing anytime that, hang on, let me make sure I get his name right. Anytime that David Warner was on screen as evil, just his line delivery was making me laugh. Like, he kills his henchman, like his henchman is like, well, if you don't need the supreme being, then why can't you get out of here? And he kills him. Now, that's a good question. And it just and then, like, Benson, I'm gonna have to turn you for a dog for a minute, okay? And he turns him into a dog. All right, now I need you to watch the map. Like, it just, his deliveries were just so good.
Yeah.
And it was making me laugh because it was, I will say, I guess maybe that was the only kid thing, is that the villain is not very villainous, I guess.
Sure.
Which does kind of make me want to watch the show because Jermaine Clement is evil in the show, and you may roll your eyes at this. Taika is the supreme being. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, if David is this funny, Jermaine has to take it to another level. Like,
yeah, no, I agree that that Evil was pretty amusing. I couldn't get over what he's doing or like what's going on.
yeah.
And even at the very end, I know that you had cited, the better use of the time travel was to bring, all these different people from history to try to fight evil and whatever, which I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I just didn't like the execution. you know? Um, and it just felt like, you know, it the movie thinks it's been leading up to this moment for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think so. It's just another thing of like, what are we doing? What's happening? What what's going? Listen, the movie would be so much better is if they had a plan, let us know ahead of time what it was. Say we're going here to steal this. We're going here to steal this, right? So it's very specific, right? And like
Uh-huh.
make it a movie full of heists. How fun would that be? We love heist movies.
I agree. I
I
agree.
just I just feel like it was just all over the place, and it was just like, going off concept alone, which isn't enough for me, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, the movie has a lot of really interesting concepts. It makes me wonder if, and you're gonna yell at me. I know you are.
We'll find out.
It makes me wonder if Christopher Nolan
Nope.
saw this and was like,
That's
I could make a time heist movie better.
that's insane what you just said.
The man loves Fast and the Furious. You mean to tell me he
You're right.
hasn't seen Time
You're
Bandits?
absolutely right. He does love Fast and Furious, and you're right. This movie is beloved by a lot of people.
I finally read the back of my Criterion because I was like, not that Terry Gilliam's not deserving of a Criterion release. I mean, Fear and Loathing has a Criterion release.
Brazil.
Fisher King has a Brazil. I'm like, but why this one specifically?
Yeah.
And I read the back of it, and towards the bottom, it talks about like, sort of the satire of over reliance on technology. And I'm like, and there it is. It has just enough, and I say this with love of Criterion, just enough pretentiousness for a Criterion to be like, that goes in the collection. Because I do know that Arrow also released it, and as I told Mom while we were in Austin, Arrow will release anything.
Pretty much. Arrow's cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a fucking 4K of In the Mouth of Madness, which
dude, so cool.
I have to get that. Like, I have to. But yeah, I understand the satirization of the over reliance on technology, and again, the movie has so many really good, interesting concepts, and I think I know why. Is while we've been talking about it, I think I know why a lot of them that just don't come to fruition, and it's because of what you said. This was marketed as a family movie.
It must have been, right?
I read that even Terry Gilliam has said that like this was meant to be a family film.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
and it makes because it does make sense because kids aren't going to care about a satirization of use of technology and broad concepts.
Well, in their defense, these hypothetical children, in their defense, he did not do a good job of that.
That's true.
This is not like, in what world would anyone come out of this and be like, wow, we sure do spend a lot of time on technology? Like, no one. It's in the very, very beginning, a little bit at the end when they're suckered in with that, whatever fake sweepstake prize, whatever. And that's it.
Yeah.
If anything, for as far back as they're going in time, that Polaroid camera is technology. So what do we do about that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just upset.
No, I get it. I understand. But yeah, it's. I think if this movie was maybe 30 minutes shorter, it would have been a little bit. It would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I have no idea how they got to that other cage because I fast forwarded.
So okay, so I don't remember the first one's name, but he makes it to the second cage,
Uh,
and then Wally, because they're tethered together, or then Wally swings to the third one,
mm,
and then the one swings and makes it to the end,
oh my
and
god!
then Wally unties himself, so he's having to hold on to the cage, and then everyone else just kind of zip lines down,
Wow,
and then that's how they get out of the cages.
glad I missed that. Well, what he just described is 10 minutes
Yeah.
of movie time, which is insane.
I will say I did audibly laugh out loud when you see the mannequin kind of go, and because that way I get it. The shot was to show you perspective about how far away and how much he's swinging.
Yeah.
But I laughed because you can clearly tell it's just a mannequin that they put on a string, and it's, or they used a miniature so they can get the perspective right or something.
Did
Um,
you kind of chuckle? Because I did. I kind of chuckled that they were able to find clothes that fit them everywhere they went.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not, and I know we don't mean that in an offensive way, but they just happen to always find clothes that
Yeah.
fit them.
Yeah.
Even Kevin, like, and also, because we kind of jumped over it, and that's fine. The Titanic.
Oh yeah.
You mean to tell me 7 small people and a full-grown child can fit on one door? Get your head out of your ass, James Cameron.
Nice.
Like, Jack could have survived. Yeah, there's
Yep.
room enough. There's room on that door for him too. You know.
Yeah,
Because
man.
Rose didn't want to have to explain to everyone.
No.
You know. But anyway, with that being said, buddy, are you ready to, for sure, be done with this fucking movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I got to do it for the. Are you ready to wrap up?
Yes. I gave this movie a 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And the 2 is John Cleese, Ian Holm, and the set design. That's the 2. So.
Yeah. Again, yeah, we didn't talk about it much, but yeah, John Cleese, again, just going jolly good. And he just said, and how long have you been robbing? 4.5. 4.5? Jolly good. Ugh. And then when they walk away, and he's like, what terrible people.
That was funny. That made me laugh. I mean, John Cleese is John Cleese, you know?
Yeah. Dude, you know, he was like, Terry, I'm going to try to make this as funny as possible. And Terry's just like, yeah, okay.
I don't think John Cleese has to try. I think he's just that. I think
he's just that funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, well, buddy, I mean, I did say last week that I told Ashley that we could either do a movie that maybe you'll like, Moonstruck, which, you know, we'll probably do at a later date. Or we could do a movie that would piss you off.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, then do that one. I was like, okay.
Okay. I wish.
But with that being said, buddy, so what are we talking about next week?
Something better. All right, so all right. So next week, we are going to be discussing a movie that I've been very excited to revisit. I've seen it once, and I really don't remember much about it except that it was amazing, and that it's underappreciated. Not so much now. It's starting to get a little bit of resurgence, which I really, really enjoy. That people are finding it and they are watching it and loving it, right? This movie had 2 problems. One, its title. It's boring. The title doesn't give you anything about what you're about to see, which is unfortunate because it is riveting, exciting, thrilling. 3 words that all mean the same thing. And 2, it was completely buried, right? It came out the same year as No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood, so forget it. It got completely
Oh.
buried, right? Same thing happened to The Assassination of Jesse James, right? Came out the same year. 2007 is a great year for movies. Anyway, next week we're discussing Michael Clayton. Which, yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay. I do know this movie. I mean, because I love George Clooney. I
Yeah.
mean, who doesn't love
Who
George
doesn't? Who
Clooney?
doesn't love George Clooney?
And I distinctly remember hearing very good things about it. And then nothing.
Yeah.
I never saw it. And that was it.
Yeah. You and everybody else. Yeah.
There was a meme where someone brought it up and I was like, oh yeah, that movie exists. I think it was a YouTube channel I like called Nakey Jakey, and I think he was saying something about like Michael, and he was like, yeah, Michael, then you put on your DVD of Michael Clayton. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, but that movie exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh shit. Yeah, what a movie to come out at the same time as No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. In The Assassination of James, again, like the movie, I mean, the year is stacked with great films and great performances. This movie, George Clooney is fantastic in it, right? Tilda Swinton is fantastic in it. Nothing compares to Tom Wilkinson. Tom Wilkinson is giving the performance of his lifetime in Michael Clayton. Okay?
Dude, R.I.P., bro.
Yeah. So, I'm excited for this. And, yeah. So, Michael Clayton, next week.
Cool, man. Cool. I'm excited. I love that you picked a semi-modern movie after we just did a movie from 1981.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Cool, man. I'm excited. Any opportunity I get to watch a movie with George Clooney,
Of course.
I take it. You know, what I'll leave on is I told you just on a whim, I watched Good Night and Good Luck.
So good.
Fucking awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so good. Yeah. I'm so glad he wanted to bring it back and do it on Broadway.
Yeah, which
George
I
Clooney's
missed,
the best.
unfortunately, because they did it just for one night live on HBO and missed it. You know?
Yeah. Cool, man. All right. Well, everyone, we really do. We hoped you enjoyed this episode on Time Bandits, and we will see you next week for Michael Clayton.